Brian in Costa Rica. Costa Rica.
Yes,
really. Hey, Brian.
Vida, Tom.
Buenos
Thanks
dias.
for allowing me to contribute today. I've been an expat for 3 years and long-time listener, but first-time caller.
Thank you.
I hope you'll indulge me. I wanted to talk about the Clinton legacy.
Okay.
I have many friends that are behind Hillary, and I'm a Bernie supporter, and we get in a lot of debates from time to time. And I'm hoping at the end you'll be able to answer a question for me if you would indulge me.
Okay.
Passed by a GOP Congress with less than moderate Democratic support, but signed by Bill Clinton. The Telecom Act of '96, ending ownership limits, which, by the way, snuffed a 30-year radio career of mine. How about the Securities Litigation Uniform Standards Act of '98, which stopped class action lawsuits against corporations? Graham Leach repealing part of Glass-Steagall.
Right, Graham Leach.
Commodity Futurization Modernization Act on regulating derivatives. We know how that turned out.
Right.
How about Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act? That left states free to eliminate welfare entirely. Mm-hmm. He negotiated away LGBT people and the community through DOMA and Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Let's not forget about 3 strikes, you're out. That helped create the privatized prison system and the bloated prison population. And on top of that, committed perjury over the Lewinsky scandal.
Yeah, well, that frankly doesn't bother me, Brian. But these other issues, the question that we have to come to, and I think you're right on every one of these cases. These were policies that were promoted by Republicans and largely carried in Congress by Republicans and signed into law by a Democratic President, Bill Clinton. Was Bill Clinton misinformed? Did he think he was pursuing good policy, only he was wrong? I mean, that's certainly the sense that I get from what I've read of Al Fromm's book, is that these guys actually believed that they were evangelists, that they were going to, reinvent the Democratic Party for the 21st century. Or
and that's that third way, which, how does an Oxford graduate think this way?
The alternative suggestion is that it was, hey, let's get rich.
Well, yeah, and now I look at the donors for Hillary. The top 5 are financial institutions. 3 of the top 10 law firms specializing in international trade for corporations. That tells me TPP will be back on the agenda. I mean, even Hillary's daughter, not to bring children into this, but she's married to a Wall Street investment banker and lives in an $11 million condo in the Flatiron district of Manhattan. Tom, I just don't have the intestinal fortitude to pull the lever for Hillary.
Well, Brian,
to me, it's Bernie or oligarchy. Please tell me how things will be different under a Clinton presidency. The
president doesn't have absolute power in this country. The president can't do things without the support, many things, without the support of the people and without the collaboration and cooperation of Congress. And so if Hillary Clinton is the nominee of this party and she can activate the base, now this is a double-edged sword for her. If she can activate the base, if she can bring in the Bernie supporters, basically, the progressive base of the Democratic Party, then she could win the White House and she could also possibly sweep Congress. But to do so, she'd have to repudiate many, if not most, of the policies of her husband's administration. She's already started that process. She's walked back the 3 strikes you're out stuff. She's walked back the criminal sentencing reform. She's walked back some of the welfare reforms, as has her husband. And now she's saying that she's not in favor of TPP, even though it was negotiated when she was the head of the State Department by the State Department. But I'm willing to take her at face value that she's opposed to it, although I'm a little wary because Obama campaigned on renegotiating NAFTA, and that didn't quite happen. But I think that if she moves sufficiently to the left, which would be back basically to the center in American politics, Americans want a stronger Social Security system. They want an unemployment system that works. I mean, all of these things. If she did that, I think that she may have a reasonably good presidency. On the other hand, if she doesn't, I don't think that she can beat a Republican. So
there's no
the big
Republican
challenge.
worth their salt.
Well, and that's the thing. If we end up with a Republican president, you've got 3 members of the Supreme Court who are going to be over 80 years old the day that the president is sworn in, and a 4th one who will be 80 years old within 2 years. Which is not to say that 80 is some kind of ceiling, but it is, pushing the boundaries. And so the odds are extremely high that the next president is going to appoint at least a couple of members of the Supreme Court. On top of that, the Republicans, led by Mitch McConnell, have been absolutely obstructing virtually all of the ambassadorial and judge nominations that the Obama administration's put up, particularly those judges, the district courts and the circuit courts, that are lifetime appointments. And I mean, they've been fighting that tooth and nail so that President Obama's got fewer judges in place. Why? Because they think that they're going to have a Republican president in another 16 months, and they can simply put conservative judges in there and further skew the entire country to the right. And so that's why I would say, Brian, saying that if it's not Bernie, you're not going to vote is political suicide and personally destructive. It's to all of us. Brian, thank you for the call, but no, we've got to vote for a Democrat in 2016, and we've got to do it with some level of enthusiasm.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit thomhartmann.com for audio and video archives.
That said, we do everything we can to make sure that Democrat is working towards policies that we all support.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.